So the first video will show you how to assemble the box and add the designer series paper all the way around. The second video will show you how to assemble the bow and the gift tag. I'm using some different patterns from the same paper pack. A 1.5 by 10. This is 1.5 by 7. And this is 1.5 by 6. This is a little tab. Well, it's not really a tab. It's a little panel that's going to overlap the middle. It's 3/4 of an inch wide and 3 inches long. So you're simply going to form some loops, and you're going to lightly curl the paper in your hands. You don't really need to use your bone folder for this, but you want to just kind of start to soften the fibers in the paper so when you bend it, it doesn't crease. So that way you have that nice little curve there. So once you get that all nice and pliable, just go to your glue dots. Remember, the Stampin' Up! Glue dots are on the outside. So we have 3 glue dots there. So your grid paper actually has a 0 line at the top here. See right there? And that'll help you find your center of any of your papers. So because this is a 10-inch strip, I can slide this to where it says 5 here and 5 here. So now I know that right there is a center to my strip. So I've got glue dots on this end, so I'm just going to fold this right to that center and press it down. I'm going to add glue dots here and repeat that. So then we're just going to meet in the middle here and press that down. There's the first loop of our bow. You're not going to see the seam because we're going to stack another loop on top and then put that little band that goes across the middle. So we're just going to repeat it for this smaller strip here. So now we have our second loop, and you can place your fingers inside to kind of make that loop a little bit bigger. See how it's kind of narrow there? So you can just place your fingers inside and kind of press that paper to kind of soften that, and it just gives you a bigger loop. And then this is going to stack right in the center. So now we have the 3 glue dots in the center, and we can place this. And because we can see the seam line here, we can line it up to the seam line there. So that way you're not getting a little bit offset here. So just put that right in the center. We want to have a little tail, I guess, and I want to put a flag cut on each end. So what you're going to do is take this end, and you're going to line it up to opposite corners in this square punch. So we're going to place that in, and see how it doesn't quite go from corner to corner. So I'm just going to bring it back, and I'm going to do a half squeeze. So this half squeeze is going to hold the paper without punching, but you want the distance from the end to be the same. So you're really trying to center that point, and once you get it, you just punch it out. So this is just an easy way to give your papers strips a little flagged in, and there you go. So we're going to put glue dots again right here in the center, and then we're going to use our grid paper to get this centered. So that's all pressed down. So now we need to cover up that seam. And remember, this is the little strip that we cut 3/4 by 3. And I'm just going to use regular adhesive at this point. So I'm going to load it up and be very generous. I'm 2 swipes down. The whole thing is basically covered with adhesive. So now you're going to press this down right in the center. And then you're going to wrap it around the back. Okay, so now you can see it's got a little bit of a curve here. So I like to kind of just play with it to get it to lay a little bit flatter. So I've got glue dots here in the center, a couple of glue dots here, a couple of glue dots here, and we're ready to stick it to the box. So just set your box down. These tabs right here should go end to end. So you're really just centering top to bottom. And once you get that, I think that looks pretty good. Oh, how about that? So give it a good pressing. Just press wherever you have those little glue dots. So let's make a little tag for the front of the box. There's a stamp set in the new catalog called Label Something, and it's great because each of these images works with one of our punches. I'm going to use this one here for Happy Birthday. I'm going to pick one of the colors out of the designer series paper. This one is using Bermuda Bay. I already have the stamp on a block. We're simply going to tap, tap, and we're going to stamp it right here. So we know that there's a punch that coordinates with that image, and this one is called the Artisan label punch. You're going to turn it upside down, slide your greeting in so you can get that centered. Once you get it centered, you can do a half squeeze without punching the paper just to check to make sure it's where you want it, and then punch that out. And I'm actually going to glue the label on the outside of the plastic. So when they slide this off, it's not going to be catching on anything. It's going to slide off and they can reuse it or repurpose it for another gift. I'm going to use 4 dimensionals. The Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, the backing pulls off really easy, so you don't have to struggle with that. You know what? I think I'm actually going to add another layer of color underneath it. I think I'm leaning towards Raspberry Ripple, so let's punch that out and see what it looks like. And see how that fits nicely inside the circle. So we're just going to layer that on there. And then I'm going to add dimensionals to the back. So I think that little extra pop of color is going to help. I just wanted it to overlap a little bit and go past this designer series paper. And it just gives a little bit of contrast. There we go. So we have a really cute birthday box. It's very simple. Just simply add a strip of your designer series paper as a band around the box. Add a couple more strips to create this fun, festive bow. For more ideas, you can find me at KeenanCreations.com. Thank you and have a great day.